Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Well, while you're staying busy at home with all the snow and the shovels, it is time for baseball in Tampa, Florida. The first night game about to get underway for the Yankees. The Martian's ready to go. He'll be in the lineup, as will J.C. Escarra, making his spring training debut in Grapefruit League play, as will George Lombard Jr. He gets the start over at third base for the Yankees as they get set to take the field under the lights for the first time this Grapefruit League season. The Yes Network presents New York Yankees Spring Training Baseball. It's the Yankees and the Nationals from George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. And on the mound for the Yankees, it is their offseason acquisition. Lefty Ryan Weathers makes his Yankees debut as the pinstripes on for the first time in his career. He will be on the mound. We have lineups and first pitch coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yankee Spring Training on Yes is presented by your local Ford stores. From the Bronx to the backcountry, the Ford Bronco lives up to its legendary name. That's why it's the official SUV of the Yankees. Sunset in Tampa Bay, temperatures in the mid-60s. Great weather for the Yankees' first night game of this Grapefruit League season. Yankees and Nationals coming up. Justin Shackle, Joe Girardi with you as the Yankees take the field in a matter of moments, entering play tonight at 3-2 in the exhibition season. Washington, meanwhile, 4-0. And Joe, we are going to be seeing Ryan Weathers for the first time tonight. Talked about a surreal feeling he would have putting on Yankee pinstripes for the first time. I know it's just a spring game, but it matters all the same, no?
Oh, I think everyone's excited to get going, especially when you're in a new uniform in a place where your father played. But for this young man, he was up in 2020 at 20 years old in the playoffs against the Dodgers with the Padres, so he's pitched in big moments.
So Weathers will be on the mound. Went 2-2 with a 3.99 ERA and 8 starts with the Marlins last year. This is the lineup he will face. The Nationals have C.J. Abrams leading off at shortstop. Dylan Cruz is in center. Keeper Ruiz, switch hitting catcher, bats third. Then it's Joey Wiemer in right field. Jose Tena, the second baseman. Trey Lipscomb at third. Abimelec Ortiz at first base. Christian Franklin plays left field. And Trace Barrera is the DH.
Yeah, and the Hyundai pitcher scouting report on Ryan Weathers, you see, he was 2-2 in 8 starts. He had some injuries last year with the 3.99, but like father, like son. His father was traded to the New York Yankees the end of July in 1996. Well, he was in January of 2026. He needs to attack the zone, and that's been the difference for him the last 2 years. In 2023, he was walking over 11 guys per 9 innings, and he had a 6.55 ERA. Well, since then, he's cut the walks way back, under 7, and his ERA has been 3.63 in 24 and 3.99. And freak injuries. I know we say some pitchers or players are injury prone. Well, he's had freak injuries. 2021, he broke a small bone in the back of his foot, where only 70% of the population have that bone. Then he got climber's finger on a throwback from Nick Fortis, which you see rock climbers get a lot of times, and tore 2 tendons. And then Nick Fortis got him again last year, where he was throwing down in between innings before the first inning, hit him on the top of the head. Not a good way to start your start.
Snake bitten in 2025 for Ryan Weathers. Yankees acquired him on January 13th, and he's on the mound for the first time facing C.J. Abrams. First pitch of the game in there for a strike as we take a look at the Yankees defense. And we're also getting a look at Jason Dominguez tonight, Joe.
Well, I think it's important that he gets as many at-bats as he can against left-handers, and he's going to see a left-hander probably get 2 at-bats off of him early in this game tonight. So I think that's good for him.
Good for him, good for Ben Rice, getting the reps against lefties. Also seen George Lombard Jr. at third base getting the start. Off the outside corner.
I'll tell you what's been impressive about Weathers is how his average velocity has creeped up each year as he's gotten more mature. He's still only 26 years old, but he came up, he was throwing about 93. He'll touch 99 now. That's a big arm.
Misses there with the slider. When the Yankees acquired Weathers at the time that they traded for him with Miami, Matt Blake told Yankees Hot Stove that Weathers was a pitcher who he'd been following since he was in high school. That was when Blake was with Cleveland. This one grounded hard back up the middle, and DeYoung perfectly positioned to make the out.
Well, we were talking about freak injuries. He almost had one right there. I mean, this is a sinker that runs in a little bit on Abrams, and he hits it right back up the middle. He's able to get down. It looked like he nicked his glove, but that's scary. I mean, that you have to react, and he had good, quick reactions. Now he's got to kind of try to get his marbles back together here and see if he can throw some strikes.
Here's Dylan Cruz, young Nationals center fielder.
Well, I think that's going to be the theme for the Nationals.
Young.
26, 27, there's going to be an old player on the Nationals this year. They're in a youth movement. And it doesn't just stop with the players. It's with the coaches. They have the youngest manager in baseball, in Blake Butera, who's only 33. Their pitching coach is 30. Their president of baseball operations, Paul Tabani, is 36. Their GM, Ani Calambri, is 36. I mean, if you're 40, you're over the hill on this team.
So, Joe, Blake Butera, 33 years of age, Nationals manager. He was drafted as a player by the Rays in 2015.
Yeah. I mean, that's not that long ago, but he's already at this level. He's done a lot of different things. He's managed in the minor leagues. See a good breaking ball there.
There's strike 3. So Weathers has his first Yankee strikeout in spring training.
But he was also director of player development, so he's done it all.
Butera, the youngest manager in baseball in over 50 years, youngest since 1972, when the Twins hired Frank Quilisi to replace Bill Rigney. Now here's Keibert Ruiz. And you talk to some Nationals people, they say that the catching position is Ruiz's to lose at this moment, because they traded for Harry Ford, who's a big-time catching prospect in the offseason. Ruiz pops this up. Shallow left. Out on the grass to Young. Calls everybody off and makes the catch. Side retired as Ryan Weathers retires him in order. In the top of the first, Yankees coming up to hit in the bottom half of the first inning. So let's take a look at the lineup. Rosario leads off, followed by Dominguez, Rice, and DeYoung. J.C. Escarra makes his spring training debut, followed by Max Schumann. George Lombard Jr. gets the start over at third base. Then it's Jonathan Ornelas and Kennedy Corona. And they'll be facing 26-year-old left-hander Andrew Alvarez. There you see what he's able to do. His first 5 starts as a major league pitcher near the tail end of last season. 1-1 record, 2.31 ERA in 5 outings. Let's check out the Hyundai pitcher's scouting report.
Well, he had a real promising debut. After his last 6 starts in AAA in the month of August, he had a 2.37. He came up and made 5 starts in the big leagues and pitched to a 2.31 ERA. It's kind of old school. He is not going to overpower you. His average fastball is 91.3. He's going to sink it. He's going to cut it. He's going to throw curveballs and changeups. 2-0 behind in the count. And he's in the mix. This rotation is in flux. Miles Michaelis will be in it. Cade Cavelli and Foster Griffin. Josiah Gray should be back. But that 5th spot, some competition.
First pitch that Rosario sees, he belted deep into right field near the wall, Weimer, and it is gone for a home run. Ahmed Rosario continuing to do damage against lefties. A home run, his first of the spring, and the Yankees up 1-0.
Welcome to your first start in spring training, young fella. Yeah, that's what Ahmed Rosario is here to. He's here to pound lefties. He's done it his whole career. He did it for the Yankees last year. Leads off the game with a home run to right center. Great start. Derek Jeter once told Brett Gardner when he did that the first pitch, hit a home run, he said, "It can go nothing but downhill from here."
Well, here's Jason Dominguez getting the start against the lefty. Dominguez so far 2 for 5 with a pair of doubles early on in the spring.
I've been really impressed how Jason's handled himself in his young big league career. I mean, I looked at the month of September. He had under 20 at-bats. And he didn't play a lot, but he was productive and always ready to go. And that tells me a lot about this young man and his preparation.
Swings and misses over a curveball for strike 3. Let's take another look at the Rosario homer.
Yeah, that didn't take long. Down and out over the plate, and he jumps all over it. He's ready to hit it. And I tell you what, Doug Drabeck, every start that he made, the first pitch of the game was a breaking ball. And hitters would never swing at it because they would think, "No, I'm not swinging at that." But he did it so that type of thing didn't happen.
Here's Ben Rice.
It's good to see Ben back out there. He had a start a couple days ago. Had a little stiff neck, and it's really hard to hit when you have a stiff neck. And there's usually one side that's better than the other, but had a couple hits in his first start the other day, picking up where he left off last year. I mean, this guy is productive and hits the ball extremely hard.
And he smacks this hard over to second base. Tena, 2 away.
Tena, another young player, got the good hop there, and you get a good hop, it doesn't matter how hard it's hit, it's an easy play for an infielder.
So 2 away after the Rosario homer, and Paul DeJong will stand in his first at-bat of the night. Big league veteran trying to win a roster spot for the Yankees.
Paul has a ton of power. He hit 24 home runs last year for Washington, and he's always had that, and he's always been a good shortstop. At times he swung and missed a little bit too much, but you're right. I think he's in the mix, especially with Volpe being hurt. He's a guy that could play there, you know, part of the time, a lot of the time. He can play other positions. He's a pretty useful piece on a club.
You mentioned him getting at bats with Washington last year. He played every infield position aside from catcher and pitcher last year.
That's good that you consider me an infielder. I've never been called that before. A lot of references to the tools of ignorance, not so much as an infielder. And a pitcher is an infielder? Most of them aren't. Max Fried, yes, but most, no.
Swing and a miss as DeJong goes down, but the Yankees get on the board bright and early in the first night game of the spring. Ahmed Rosario powering it the other way, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead after one. Start of the second, 1-0 Yankees. We saw Jason Dominguez strike out in his first plate appearance. And as we welcome in Meredith Marakovitz, third member of our crew here tonight. Meredith, Jason's spot on this opening day roster is not exactly guaranteed out of spring, no?
Justin, you're exactly right, and Brian Cashman himself said it earlier this spring when asked whether or not he expects Dominguez to be on that opening day roster, and Cashman admitted that perhaps he can benefit from some everyday at-bats. Now, guys, I think it's important to remember, although we've heard the name Jason Dominguez for a long time, we saw him all of last year, this is a guy that is just 23 years old, continuing to grow as a professional player. Now, I spoke with Dominguez the other day and asked if he heard some of those rumblings, and he said, you hear stuff, but I try to block it all out. That's not what I'm concerned with. I'm just concerned about going out there and doing my best on a daily basis, continuing to put in the work, not knowing how things are going to shake out. But Justin, if you look at it, left field, Cody Bellinger, Trent Grisham in center, Aaron Judge in right. They did say they're going to get Giancarlo Stanton some reps in the outfield, although that's not going to be an everyday thing. They just want to make sure that if they need him in that spot, they can do it. And you look at the fact that Rosario can play the outfield as well, you wonder whether or not he will indeed benefit more from getting those at-bats. Now, one thing I can tell you, he did play winter ball to try to work on his swing, as we see a strikeout here from Weathers here to lead off the second inning. Joe, I'll let you take a look at that.
Yeah, this looks like a breaking ball that's up in the zone, a hard slider, and it ties him up. He's throwing the ball really well so far, and he's attacking the zone, which I love to see.
And he also worked a lot on his defense out there in left field, as we saw last year. That was a little bit of a work in progress. But, Joe, you mentioned the fact that last year, even when he started to get less playing time, one thing that impressed you is that he was always ready to go. He was always prepared. And one of the big reasons why was Ahmed Rosario. Rosario really took him under his wing, showed him how to prepare when he is not in there every day, and kind of gave him some tips along the way. It is not coincidental that here at Steinbrenner Field, Jason Dominguez is at one locker towards the opening of the Yankees clubhouse. Ahmed Rosario is directly next to him. They're constantly chatting in the morning and before games. Also, you're going to hear a little bit more from Jason Dominguez, Justin, in just a little bit throughout the broadcast.
Well, that's so important that a veteran takes a young player under his wing, because as young players, you're used to playing every day, or they don't bring you up. And then all of a sudden you're not playing every day, and how do I adjust, and how do I stay on the fastball, you know, the velocity, and how do I stay on the breaking balls? I'm sure Ahmed showed him a lot of different ways. There's an outstanding fastball. 100. I said 99. I guess I lied.
Yeah, that'll play.
Yeah, that will definitely play. You're going to see this is paint. I mean, you're throwing 100, and he puts it right there. It's just not much of a chance for you as a left on left. But for Jason, the thing is, he needs to continue to improve, and if he improves and continues to improve, he's going to have a long career. And it's hard sometimes when you're up and then you get sent down. And I know as a manager, a lot of times I would be asked, well, how many at-bats are you going to get him a week? And if you couldn't promise a lot of at-bats, they said, well, we're going to send him down because we want him to play every day. And I'm not sure what's going to happen. But with the emergence of Grisham last year, I think it changed the theory on what you do with Bellinger, and then Bellinger moved to left, and the outfield became a really good outfield. And if Trent hadn't taken off, Belly probably would have played a lot of center, and there would have been more bats, but it didn't happen.
It's smoked on the ground, foul. For a manager, how difficult of a balance is it when you have a young player on your roster who you know needs everyday reps?
It can become very difficult, because as a manager, it's your job to put the best team out there every day to win the game. Now, if you're in a small market and you're not in New York, you can say, you know what, Jason, we're going to give you 650 plate appearances, and you're going to run out there every day, left-hander, right-hander. I'm never going to pinch hit for you. I'm never going to take it. But that's not the case in New York. Aaron Boone does not have that luxury of saying, we're just going to do that. So, again, I've been impressed with this young man and the way he handles his business, and I wish him all the luck in the world, because I think he's going to be a really good player for a long time.
2-2 from Weathers. Trey Lipscomb fouls it off. What do you like from Weathers so far, Joe?
Well, I like the strike ball ratio. I like the velocity on his fastball. I liked he's been able to throw his breaking ball into right-handed hitters and tie them up. He's mixed his change in, a little bit of everything.
Smoke shot on the ground. Lombard Jr. right there, picked out of the dirt by Rice. Good play corner to corner in the Yankee infield, and Weathers is through 2 scoreless.
fans.
Some big news just coming down as we get started with tonight's game. The Yankees have announced that they will be retiring number 52 from Hall of Famer CC Sabathia this season. He will have his number retired, a plaque dedicated in his honor in Monument Park. That will take place on Saturday, September the 26th, prior to a game against the Baltimore Orioles. So a big congratulations to number 52, CC Sabathia.
I tell you what, he meant so much to the Yankees during his time in the pinstripes, just not only being the ace of the staff and the guy that you trusted all the time to send out there.
Another right in front of Keibert Ruiz. Couldn't stay with it, and it trickles away for J.C. Escarra. He'll reach.
Yeah, he kind of went after that, to me, like he thought it was going to be easy. And I think when it hit the dirt, it kind of backed up on him. The spin on it, it kind of backed up, and then he fumbled it, and then he made a bad throw. He complicated the situation with not getting it and having to rush. He ends up making a bad throw. If he makes a good throw, he probably still gets him. But when you look at that, that's a gift for the Yankees, and these are the gifts that you try to take advantage of.
So Escarra's on first. Here's Max Schumann. Also has some speed. This one's bunted. Alvarez airmails it over first. And Escarra is going to head to third. Sliding into second will be Max Schumann. So the Yankees catching a couple of breaks to start the bottom of the second.
You could see when that arm went to that low angle that he had a chance to throw this like he did. He gets off the mound really well and has a chance to get him, but you're going to see him drop his arm, and boy, he just kind of airmails this over the first baseman's head. And this is something that plagued Washington all last year. They were 29th in baseball with outs above average at -33, and they were 23rd when it came to errors with 94. Not good.
So a chance for George Lombard Jr. with 2 in scoring position here in the bottom of the second. See the numbers at high A and double A for Lombard in 2025.
You look at those numbers and you say, wow, those numbers, he was 19 in double A. That's unheard of.
Well below the double A average.
Oh, yes. And double A is really a lot of times the higher prospects, because they need to work on things, and you got guys that are throwing 100 miles an hour. I know Washington had 2 pitchers in their minor league. It was in double A. One was throwing 100, the other one was throwing like 98.
This ball gets away from Ruiz, and it allows Escarra to score easily. So Escarra with a quick trip around after a couple of pitches, and the Yankees ahead 2-0 as the ball's getting thrown all over the place.
Well, Keibert Ruiz has never been known for his blocking, but I want to tell you a little story. When he got traded to the Nationals for Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, you see his ball get away from him. He just doesn't get down, and it hits off the heel of his glove, and now you have a runner in third. We were told that he wasn't a very good blocker. So he blocks the first 6 like textbook, and I'm going, I thought he wasn't a good blocker. But it ends up over time, it pans out to be what it's supposed to be, and that's been something that's been tough for him. He's been more projected as an offensive catcher, but he has improved defensively. He throws okay. He throws out about 26%. And in all the games he caught last year, he only had 2 pass balls, so that's really good. But blocking at times is tough for him.
He had to battle some concussion issues last year, was limited to less than half a season in uniform. Here's Jonathan Ornelas, Yankees number 8 hitter. They have runners at the corners with nobody out here in the bottom of the second.
When you're a guy like Andrew Alvarez, who does not have overpowering stuff, does not strike out a ton of hitters, you need your defense to be good behind you. And he was part of it. Everything has been a gift so far, and then he made it worse by walking Lombard Jr., and now he's getting himself in a situation where this could be a big inning for the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Lombard's walk, because he's over at first, and we talked about a young player trying to introduce himself to double-A pitching, and Aaron Boone said it. He said, you look, under the hood, he thought George was much better than the surface stuff said. So why could fans be encouraged about Lombard's introduction to Double-A, despite maybe not having some shiny numbers?
He played very well defensively at shortstop, and did play a little bit of second and third. Number two, he took his walks, so he is a patient hitter. But you got to remember, you go to Double-A, sometimes the weather's not great early in the season. It's tough, and you're 19 years old, and you're probably facing a lot of guys that are 22, 23, been in the minor leagues for a while. And it was a short time for him, so I'm encouraged by what he's done, and I think that he is going to be an excellent player for a long time. And I think what will need to be determined is where he plays. Will it be short? Will it be third? Will it be second? How much will he fill out?
2-2 to Ornelas is low. And that allows Lombard Jr. to take second base. So the Yankees keeping the pressure on Andrew Alvarez in the bottom of the second.
And you'll see this a lot of times in spring training when you have not caught a pitcher a lot and you don't understand what his breaking ball does, because they list him as having a curveball and a slider. I'm not sure I'm buying that it's two different pitches, because they both average the same, like 82.4. I think that's a curveball, but I can't tell you for sure.
Dumped over the plate as Ornelas is caught looking for strike three. What about on the second look there?
Yeah, it's just a backdoor breaking ball. He'd been throwing his breaking ball into you, his fastball into you. I said all along, this young man pitches. He'll throw breaking balls behind in the count. He'll throw them 3-2, 2-0, 2-1. He has to pitch because he's not overpowering.
Here's Kennedy Corona, Yankees #9 hitter tonight. He made a terrific play last week in the Yankees spring opener, robbing Pete Alonso, now the Orioles, of a base hit in the left center field gap. Also hit a home run on Sunday.
He's got himself in a good count, and it was Kennedy here. I'd look out over the plate trying to drive the ball through the middle of the field. If you do that, you're probably going to get at least one RBI and maybe two. Don't try to get big here, try to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Alvarez behind 2-0. There's a strike. And he's going to challenge. But here's the home run from Sunday.
Calls a strike, batter challenging.
Looked like a little cutter. It looks like he knows how to use Yankee Stadium. And here's the challenge, and it looks like it.
Calls a return. New York retains their challenge.
So the count's now 3-0. Yankees win their first challenge. They won a whole bunch of challenges yesterday in Dunedin in their 8-7 victory over the Blue Jays. They were very aggressive with challenging. And there's ball 4. So the base is loaded, and we'll see Ahmed Rosario for the second time tonight.
Yeah, this has to be really frustrating for Alvarez, because he probably should have had 2 outs, nobody on, and then maybe a walk, and then he got a K. He should have been out of this inning, and now he has the bases loaded. Ahmed Rosario's up. He hit .302 with an OPS of .815 last year against left-handers. His career, it's .800. I mean, this is what this guy is here for, and I'm walking people, and we're making errors, and I got to face this guy who already took me deep. I would bet, though, he doesn't see a first-pitch fastball this time.
Well, the umpire scouting report is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. There's Darius Gani. He's right down the middle, Joe.
See, we were talking about the other day, that's the wrong place to be, because you're going to have the hitting coach and the pitching coach from the Nationals yelling at you, and you're going to have the hitting coach and the pitching coach from the Yankees. Be one way or the other, then it's one coach from each side.
So if you call it down the middle, you have no friends.
You have no friends.
Rosario smacks it to shortstop Abrams, and there is the double play. 6-4-3 double play as the Yankees come away with 1 run. They take a 2-0 lead into the third.
than I am today.
Watch Home Plate New York, streaming now on the Gotham Sports app.
Welcome back to Yankee Spring Training, presented by your local Ford stores. Legacies are proven on the field. Start yours in the legendary Ford Bronco, the official SUV of the Yankees. Third inning of work for Ryan Weathers in his Yankee spring debut. 26-year-old lefty flashing triple digits at times tonight. As he deals with the bottom third of Washington's lineup, here is Abimelec Ortiz, who has a shot at making this Nationals roster for opening day. He was part of the package that the Rangers sent to the Nationals for Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah, I think he's got a really good chance. And they also got a young shortstop that they really like, who's only 19 years old. But you see the numbers in AAA. Josh Bell is no longer here, so he's got a chance to be their everyday first baseman.
So, Joe, Ryan Weathers did a Q&A with Steve Serby of the Post earlier this spring, and he was asked about mound mentality as he strikes out Ortiz for out number 1. And Weathers said that when the game starts, he's definitely a pitcher that sees red. So as a catcher, how do you kind of reel in a guy seeing red?
Well, you see the prospects that the Yankees sent over to the Marlins. I'm not sure what he means when he sees red. I see red when you're facing the Nationals, but what is seeing red? Is this a young man's lingo that I'm not familiar with?
I think it's like, you know, a bull ready to go full speed here.
I don't have a problem with that as long as he can control your emotions. David Cohn, I think, saw red. And I think he pitched with that edge. And if you're pounding the zone like he is doing, like he has done the last couple of years, he's going to have success because he has stuff. And he's going to be harder to run on because he's left-handed. So you're not going to give up a ton of stolen bases. And you got 100 in the tank, you're going to strike some people out. So seeing red, and maybe that's why he has a red glove, is not such a bad thing.
Last year, as we take a look at the pitch repertoire, and this one's smoked on the ground, back up the middle, out of the reach of DeYoung for a base hit, first of the night for the Nationals and Christian Franklin. And when you look at Weathers' full pitch breakdown, what stands out to you?
That he has 5 different pitches and he can use them. I think his sinker could play a big role for him against left-handers, running it in there on them and making them uncomfortable, and then making his sweeper and his slider that much better. I think his changeup will need to improve a little bit, but I think he's around some guys on this team like a Carlos Rodon who was very much like Weathers here. He was a power pitcher, and now he's become a complete pitcher. I think he can teach him a lot. I think Garrett Cole can teach him a lot. I just think he's in a really good spot with Max Fried as well, with all these veteran pitchers that can really help him develop who he is.
Here's Trace Barrera, number 9 hitter for the Nationals.
Yeah, this guy's a good story. He was a guy that was called up in like 21 and 22 with the Nationals as a catcher, and he'd been in the minor leagues a long time, and he hasn't been up much lately. That was about 97 over there, the first. Ben Rice may want to get his catcher's mitt over there. But Barrera did some really good things, and you can see him, he's going back, but he still almost gets him. That's how deceptive the move is. And let him get a little time with Andy Pettitte, because Andy Pettitte had a great move too. Teach him that. So there's a lot. There's a good split change. He has a split change. You see the depth on it. He's got a lot of weapons, and I think he's only going to get better being here in New York.
That's a nasty drop at the end.
Yes, it did. And as a hitter, you're trying to catch up to 97, 98, and you get out in front of that because it's thrown with such great arm action. And I'm not sure that wasn't one of those split changes too. Sometimes the action on that, it will cut, and you can't quite tell, was it a slider or a split change.
17 pickoffs for Weathers since 2021, tied for 4th most in Major League Baseball. Chop to short, a play for DeYoung, to second for 1, over to first. It's a double play to end the inning. Weathers retires the side in order after the DP. We go to the bottom of the 3rd.
opportunity.
Hey, score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Yankees, the official source of your Yankees gear. So the Yankees are ahead 2-0 as we move to the bottom of the third. New pitcher on the mound. It's a fellow lefty, though. Richard Lovelady gets on the mound.
Yeah, through 10 games in the big leagues last year. Not overpowering, very similar to Alvarez. His average fastball is 91.4, and for left-handers last year was 93.2. He's been in the big league a number of years. Sinker, sweeper, slider, and a four-seamer.
Dominguez sends it deep into right field. Weimer on the chase. He'll make the catch in front of the wall. So Dominguez flies out to deep right. Good swing on a left-handed pitcher. But Jason's 0 for 2 so far.
Lovelady has a very low arm angle. It's almost sidearm when you look at it. And you get different looks. So this is a different look for Ben Rice, where he saw Alvarez, who's more over the top. You're going to see a little bit more from the side and a little bit sling to it.
So, Joe, this epitomizes spring training baseball. You have Richard Lovelady on the mound. He's wearing jersey number 55. There are 2 55s on the Nationals roster. There are 3 number 54s on the Nationals roster.
Yeah, you know, I know they do that in college football, you know, because they have so many players, but can't you get different numbers here?
Rice swings and misses for strike 3.
It makes it very hard, and when they start making the wholesale changes and trying to figure out who's hitting where, if you got 3 number 55s, you might have some issues, and that's a pretty good sweeper. Not a lot of depth to it, but it's got a lot of sweep to it, and Ben Rice just runs out of bat.
Here's DeYoung. Started an inning-ending double play for Ryan Weathers at the top of the third.
What I remember about Paul DeYoung, he was a Cub killer. And his father lived so close to the ballpark in Wrigley, he would walk to the games. And there would always be a story about his father walking to the game. He killed the Cubs.
DeYoung came up with the Cardinals, so he had a lot of chances to kill the Cubs.
Played with the White Sox, so he got to play in those series. And this is a guy that, when he plays every day, he averages about 22 homers a year. So there's power in this bat.
So if he finds a way to make the Yankees out of spring training, they would be DeYoung's 7th big league team.
Yeah, he was a staple in St. Louis for about 5 years, where he had some big years there. I mean, you can see he was runner-up to Rookie of the Year. Cody Bellinger, I mean, he had a pretty good year in 2017, an All-Star in 2019, where he hit 30 home runs. But it's been somewhat of a struggle since then.
Went to Illinois State, 4th-round pick of the Cardinals. As he flies it out into right field, Weimer's there, and the side retired in order by number 55, Richard Lovelady, on to the 4th in Tampa. First night game at Steinbrenner Field this spring as the Yankees lead it 2-0 at the top of the fourth. And we have a chance to spend a few moments here this fourth inning with Aaron Boone as Ryan Weathers is back out for work for the fourth inning here. Aaron, what do you like about what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, we've liked everything we've seen from him since acquiring him. You know, obviously really great stuff that jumps off the page at you, and really good athlete, and filling up the strike zone again, which is something that he does with all that stuff typically.
So how many pitches do you have him for tonight?
I think we're 49. What do you got him at there? I think we're 50 mark.
He's a roller up the middle. DeYoung puts it away.
So I had a question I wanted to ask you on Sunday about the challenges.
Yep.
Do you think it's, and I'm sure it depends on game to game, but overall, do you think it's more important to be right on one side more than the other?
Whew, it's a great question. I think it's going to be, look, I think more pitches are missed against the hitters. So right, they call more, oh, we're challenging right here. So I think there's more strikes called that are actual balls. So as far as importance, not necessarily. I think it comes down to the situation and the leverage of the situation. Oh, look at that. Look at that, JC.
Calls overturned. New York retains their challenge.
But, you know, we're going to be aggressive with it. And hopefully that serves us well, and we'll try to continually evolve with it, you know, here through spring training, but even during the season. And then, you know, even treat it some individually, like who's really good at this, who's really adept at this, maybe who struggles with it, and then you have to make some decisions as you go too.
Because they're measuring different, you know, they're measuring the guy standing straight up. Do you think guys like Bellinger and I'm trying to think, has a better idea because he stands really upright? A Jazz stands really upright.
So Jazz is one of those guys that we think it's going to really help because of the way he stands, like you said, upright, yet he's not tall. He gets a ton of strike calls at the top of the zone that are actual balls, and certainly they're balls now. Yeah, got it. So, you know, we feel good about it. They know that. I think that's another trick of this is guys got to be really in tune with who they are, what their strike zone is. I think one of the challenges is going to be for pitchers of really understanding the bottom of the zone, because I think pitchers with an umpire, you just kind of establish the bottom of the zone in a game, and it doesn't really change hitter to hitter. Now it's legitimately going to change hitter to hitter, so that'll be a little bit of a challenge, I think, for the pitchers really establishing the bottom.
All right, so how many more pitches do we have?
One.
For Weathers, Aaron? One more?
Yeah. We're all over.
David Cohn had that one time. So he threw a heater, and the guy hit it out of the ballpark. He said, what else was I supposed to do?
Yep. Mid.
Here you go.
Look at him spring out of the chair in mid-season form with the pitching change.
Yeah, I mean, this is very calculated how many pitches they want to give the pitchers, and he's at 49, and he's had a fantastic outing. He leaves down in the count 2-1 here, but I was impressed. I really think that his father is at the game. His father coaches high school baseball, coached his son coming up, you know, since he was in Little League, and they were playing in a tournament in Florida, so I think his father has to be really impressed with what he saw tonight, too.
Well, he faced the minimum in his Yankee debut after that double play in the third inning. And we're going to keep it here as Aaron Boone will give the ball to the first relief pitcher of the night. Looks like it's Harrison Cohen, righty out of the bullpen.
Yeah, you really got to pay attention if you're Aaron Boone here. Usually it's a range, not an exact pitch count. That's how it used to be, but they have an algorithm for this and how they try to keep their pitchers healthy, and it was time to go get him.
You there?
And Aaron's back with us. Yeah.
Blake was getting nervous.
Your pop time is off the charts, Aaron.
Yeah, Blake was getting a little nervous over there.
So Blake doesn't think that you can multitask? Is that what it is?
I guess not. I guess not. So that's the move I'm going to pull at some point and for real in a game. Anthony Rizzo and I would talk about that all the time. It's like, hey, let's for the playoffs, let's go get a guy with 2 strikes, bring in a strikeout artist, and we'll really jam him up.
Yeah.
So the other number 77, Danny Watson, is coming on to pitch here for the Yankees in the top of the 4th. Let's keep it with pitching, Aaron.
Yep.
Cam Schlittler, Max Fried, where are they at? When do you feel that they could get into a game?
Yeah, so they both threw live today on the backfield. They actually just finished up about right around first pitch. Max was going 3 and 50 today, and then Cam was an inning at 25, and they both looked really good. I saw Cam's full inning. He was, I mean, 98, 99, really good cutter and breaking ball. He will have another live on the 4th day. So what's that, Sunday, I believe? And then he'll fall into his 5-day and probably in a game on that 5-day. So I think it's around maybe targeted like March 6th. He should be in this kind of 3-inning mode. And then Max, I believe his next one will be in a game, and he should be up to close to around 60 pitches at that point.
It's a lot to keep track of, Aaron. I'm impressed.
Watson's 2-2.
Because you think about it, you're getting some of the pitchers ready for the WBC.
Yep.
You're getting players ready for the WBC. You have 11 players leaving. I was thinking, you're going to miss some of these guys.
Yeah.
Who are you going to miss more, the players or the coaches?
Well, you got to ask me that the first couple days in. So we got Shelly Duncan's like ready. We were going through some tutorial stuff today, like how Brad and I communicate through all this and what each day, like getting the lineups. So we got to get player development and the backups and all this. So a lot going on, but we should be able to handle it okay.
Aaron, thanks so much for the time. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yep.
Through 3.5, Yankees are ahead 2-0 over the Nats. The next spring training game on Yes as the Yankees take on the Atlanta Braves here at Steinbrenner Field. Live coverage starts at 1 o'clock on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Alongside Joe Girardi and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Justin Shackle. First night game for the Yankees this spring. They're up 2-0 on the Nats as we move to the bottom of the 4th. And a new pitcher on the mound for Washington, 33-year-old right-hander Trevor Gott.
Yeah, it was with Washington 2016, 17, and 18. Spent some time with the Giants, the Brewers. Kind of been all over the place, but we're on tomorrow again. You can't work 2 days in a row, day game after night game. What's going on?
Load management, Joe.
Load management?
Load management. It's only February.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll be back on Saturday.
Okay.
One up at a time.
I know old guys don't like day games after night games, so I figured that's what was going on.
J.C. Escarra in his second plate appearance. They gave him a hit in his first at-bat in the second, where Keibert Ruiz had a tough time gathering it and then threw it off the mark over at first. Escarra hits this one to fairly deep center field. Cruz is there. So this is Escarra's spring debut. He was a little slow to start spring training after he tweaked his knee trying to make a sliding catch on a foul ball in winter ball.
Well, it's good to see him healthy, because the one thing that you want to do, especially if you're a backup, you need to get as many bats in spring training as you can, and you don't want to get behind. So it's good to see him back.
Here's Max Schumann. Now, something else that we found out about J.C. Escarra here at the start of this spring, he received a tattoo of himself in a picture that was taken by the Yankees team photographer. Ari Heck does a terrific job of J.C. crouching behind the plate in his first big league game last year, and it was beautiful. It was so accurate.
That's cool.
It was right on his arm.
You're going to see Max stay inside this ball. You saw it. The ball was inside, and because he pulled his hands in, you could see the spin where it was more going towards right field when he hit it, and it shoots to the shortstop's left. Really good piece of hitting by Max.
His second hit of the night. Here's George Lombard Jr. So if you could have one moment from your career tattooed to your body, what would it be, Joe?
It'd have to be the triple.
Calls the ball. The catcher is challenging.
The catcher's challenging this one. You always got to keep track of who's challenging, right?
I think at some point, maybe at the end of this first year,
Calls
it's a
overturned.
strike.
Washington retains their challenge.
We are going to have it on all the websites, Baseball Reference, Fangraphs, all the percentages, the accuracies for each player on ABS challenges.
Oh, for sure. They'll have statistics. And catchers catching do the best job. They have a better understanding of the strike zone, probably because they see so many pitches from that angle. You think about in the course of a game, a hitter might see 20. You're seeing 120. So they are the most successful. So this is what I love about George, how patient he is and how he really has a good understanding of the strike zone. And that is going to serve him really, really well. He walked 87 times last year in 132 games. That's really good. I mean, over the course of the big league season, that's 100 walks. Too many guys that have 100 walks a year in the big leagues.
Worked to walk his first at bat tonight. He's at third base to start tonight. Started at third 11 times last year. As he fouls this. Looks like he fouled it off his leg. He's okay.
Sometimes it's hard to see unless you slow it down, a guy get hit, but you watch to see how the ball changes. And that's hard to see, but it looked like it hit off the inside of his foot, or he's a really good actor, one or the other.
He won 2 state soccer championships in high school, so he has that balletic footwork. Got out of the way. First overall pick, or first round pick, I should say. 26th overall of the Yankees back in 2023. He was committed to play at Vanderbilt before the Yankees drafted him. And this is smoked on the ground. High hop for Lipscomb. Lombard Jr. retired. And Escarra gets to second, 2 away. Here's Jonathan Ornelas. Struck out looking against Andrew Alvarez in his first plate appearance tonight. "25 years of age, played in 32 major league games, spanning 3 seasons with Texas and Atlanta. Signed with the Yankees as a minor league free agent.
These guys are going to get a lot more playing time because of all the players that are leaving for the WBC, so it's a chance for them to make an impression on Aaron Boone.
Lined to right center, base hit for Ornelas. Schumann coming around from third to score, and Ornelas has himself an RBI single. It's 3-0 Yankees.
Good piece of hitting there, not trying to do too much, stays up the middle, ends up with a base hit and an RBI. And because Schumann was in running when Lombard was up, he got to second base. They were able to stay out of the double play. The Yankees create a run by moving on the base paths, and that's one thing about the Yankees that I don't think people always see, is how aggressive they were on the base pass last year. They were 8th in stolen bases. That's not a normal Yankee team that you talk about.
Ornelas going, slides in safely as the ball trickles into center field. So a stolen base for Ornelas. He gets himself into scoring position.
And that's one way of being able to create runs, is by putting people in motion, stealing bases. I mean, he gets a good pitch to throw on. He ends up throwing it up the line too much. Jose Tena is not able to come up with it, and now they have another runner in scoring position.
1 ball, no strikes to Corona as he takes a look at a pitch low from Gott. Again, the Yankees will have 11 players leave camp around this weekend to head to their respective teams for the World Baseball Classic, which will start up next week.
And the American team will start in Houston, right? Team USA, their games will be in Houston. So I thought I saw what was a quirk, and there's another walk. Kennedy Corona, his second one, where it looked like the Yankees had 2 days off in a row in spring training. I'm like, what? I've never seen that. But they're playing the Panama national team, and that doesn't go on the schedule, which I don't understand. It's still a game. But I guess, you know, if a team like the Red Sox always plays a college team out of Boston, that doesn't count on their record. But it's spring training. Let it count.
You were getting jealous that you never had two off days in a row in spring?
Never, no. Unless you had an off day and you had a rain out.
Rosario hitting for the 3rd time tonight. It's homered. Also hitting to a double play.
First right-hander he has seen tonight. So a couple lefties earlier.
Takes a strike.
Good movement on that pitch. Threw a breaking ball that broke away from Rosario, and then he started that 2-seamer off the plate. And I think Ahmed gave up on it and ended up coming back for a strike. That's the tunneling that pitchers try to do.
And Rosario pops it up, shallow center. Dylan Cruz camps under, and he drops it. He dropped the ball. Coming in to score from second is Ornelas. And the Yankees pick up another run here in the 4th inning. It's 4-0.
Well, these are the type of things that will drive a manager crazy. Blake Butera in his first year, they struggled defensively. I'm sure it's been a point of emphasis for them. They only have 2 errors so far. They could have about 4. The scorekeeper's a little generous on some of those bunts and things that happen in the 2nd inning. And you look at Cruz, he's a good outfielder. He just dropped it. Sometimes the lighting's not the same here as it is in a big league ballpark, and the Yankees get another run.
So the Yankees pick up 2 runs on the drop ball. because Kennedy Corona also came in to score. So good hustle by some of these players that are in the bottom third of the lineup. Ornelas and Corona running with 2 outs. They score 2 runs, and it's 5-0.
First time that Dominguez has got to hit left-handed, and this is just really good base run. Never assume anything. Run hard all the time. Make the coaches stop you, and that's a really good job by Luis Rojas, sending him home on that play.
High chopper off the bat of Dominguez. Ortiz takes care of the rest. Yankees get 3 more runs, and they'll go to the 5th, up 5-0. It's the Citizens' call to the bullpen as we start the top of the 5th, and here is the Yankees closer, David Bednar, on to pitch with the Yanks leading the Nationals 5-0. There you see his numbers with the Pirates and the Yankees last year. As the talented right-hander gets some work in before he heads off for the World Baseball Classic, Joe.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons you're seeing him. Usually closers won't throw until about the 2nd or 3rd week, get 7 or 8 appearances. But because he's going to the WBC, they got to get him going a little bit earlier. And what I love about David is he really pitches for a closer. This is, I mean, he has power, and his fastball average is 97, but he throws that curveball over any time for a strike that he wants, just like that.
It's Weimer out in front of that pitch. Barehand chuck by Lombard Jr., and he gets him. What a play by George Lombard Jr. at the hot corner.
Yeah, and that's a really good play because Joey Weimer runs really, really well. He really gets down the line. And he gets a little head start because he's leaning towards that because he reaches for this ball. Nice barehand pickup. You see the quick release, an accurate throw. He only started about 11 games, I believe, at 3rd base last year, and you see him make this play. He has a gift for defense.
A strong arm for the former 1st-round pick for the Yankees, George Lombard Jr. as Jose Tena takes a look at a first pitch curveball out of the zone. So Bednar pitching here. He's going to be joining Team USA for a 2nd straight appearance in the WBC. And that first time where, look, you have to get revved up a bit earlier if you're participating in this.
Much earlier.
He went on to have the finest season of his career back in 2023.
Yeah, you wonder if there's any correlation there or not. But obviously he had to get ready much quicker for the WBC like he is doing this year. And I think, you know, as a manager in an organization, that's the little bit of concern that you have about the WBC, that they're revving it up a little bit earlier. But They have to be able to do it in spring training, but before spring training, they have to get ready.
Calls a strike. The batter's challenging.
So Tana's going to challenge.
What do you think? I think it's high. Yeah.
Calls overturned.
See, it happens so
Washington
fast, I'm
retains
not-
their challenge.
Yeah, good
I'm not
job by
able to give an
JC
answer,
stealing that strike. The Yankees have been really successful in their challenges so far, which is great to see. Tells you guys really understand the strike zone, whether they're hitting or they're behind home plate.
2-2. Just missed with the curve.
JC trying to get that one as well.
The payoff. Smacked in the air to left. A chance for Dominguez. Makes the catch. 2 away.
Yeah, not an easy play when it's sliced off a left-hander's bat, because it's so different than what you expect when you're in center field. When a guy hits a ball hard to you in center field, it's usually pulled, and you're going to see him turn around a little bit. He gets turned around a little bit, but he makes a quick recovery to get to this ball. Very good play. And the hardest ones to judge are the line drives that are hit right at you, because you can't really tell the depth on them.
So a put out by Dominguez in left field. Here's Trey Lipscomb. 2 out, nobody on. Yankees up 5-0 at the top of the 5th. And have the 3rd out after 1 pitch. Ornelas makes the grab in foul territory. And a 1-2-3 inning for David Bednar as we go to the home half of inning number 5.
Watch Yankees Braves tomorrow at 1 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Welcome back to Yankees Spring Training, presented by your local Ford stores. Legacies are proven on the field. Start yours in the legendary Ford Bronco, the official SUV of the Yankees. 5-0 Yanks, bottom of the 5th. New pitcher on the mound for the Nationals, a familiar name. It's the righty Clayton Beeter.
Well, that's his pitch, his slider. He'll throw it 46% of the time, and he'll throw his fastball the other 54%. But hitters swing and miss 49% of the time on that slider. That is a nasty pitch.
Here he's facing Ben Rice. There's the slider under the hands of the lefty, who's 0 for 2 so far tonight. The Yankees traded Beeter to the Nationals near the trade deadline for Amed Rosario last year. And Washington's counting on Beeter to be a big part in the back end of their bullpen. Hard fastball called, strike 3.
He had 2 breaking balls at the top of the zone, then he paints up and in. It's a quick trip for Ben Rice where he didn't really even swing the bat. And I think Beeter is probably the front runner to be the closer. Because if you're Washington, which is a really young team, you have to win the games that you're supposed to. And, you know, maybe they would use him in the 8th if it's a apart in the order. It's like 3, 4, 5 in the order, but he's going to pitch important innings.
DeYoung with a bouncer right back to the mound. Beater throws it away. And DeYoung will be safe over at first. So we've seen this plenty tonight for this Nationals team. Not helping themselves are the pitchers, and the Yankees take advantage.
Yeah, you can see that ball had a funny spin on it, but then pitchers a lot of times aren't good throwing to the bases because they have to let up a little bit. You can see he just kind of airmails this. I would imagine when they get back to West Palm Beach, I think they're here again tomorrow in this area. It's usually an overnight trip when you come so far. They will be doing PFPs. Pitchers fielding practice.
Base hit, by the way.
Another base hit?
Yeah.
Come on.
But I think you're right. I think Blake Peter is going to be calling PFPs.
Where was this scorekeeper when I was playing? I mean, all he had to do was throw it to first base. I guess that's a challenge now.
Escara rips it foul.
Heads up, Laz.
So there is an error on the play, and that's what leads to DeYoung being at second base. But they award him a hit. Escara sends it deep into the corner and left. Franklin watches it go into the bullpen.
I think Laz went to throw the ball in the stands and realized how high the fence was, and he put it in his pocket, and then the fans start booing him, so now he's covering his ears. Always messing around.
What was your on-field relationship like with Laz?
Not always the greatest. I think I probably blew a gasket against Laz once in a while. I can remember one particular instance in Anaheim. Yeah, you're going to see Laz pick this up, and he's like, okay, I'm going to throw it over. But they've extended all these fences to protect the fence. He's like, that's a little bit too high. Let me put it in my pocket. He'll probably go give it to someone in between innings. Then they start booing him. Covers his ears.
So 2 outs, runner at second here in the bottom of the 5th. Max Schumann, the batter. Laz Diaz was the umpire when Aaron Boone did a pretty accurate impersonation of
really
Laz's
good
strikeout.
Yeah, really good.
With Aaron, Laz Diaz punch out as well.
I was doing the Cubs-Mets game that evening, and we were in a rain delay, and I got to see the whole thing, and I was cracking up.
So Beater behind 2-0 on Schumann. Yankees are ahead 5-0 in the bottom of the 5th.
Call the strike, batter challenging.
And the home plate umpires look behind home plate.
As
they challenge.
Calls confirmed. New York has 1 challenge remaining.
So the Yankees lose that challenge. So the good thing is they're going to have on the board, they're going to have the counter. And I think it's going to be where the mound visits, and I think they're going to move that somewhere else on the board so we can keep track better of how many challenges the team has left.
There you have it on the scoreboard at GMS, right there, like you said. So we checked, Joe.
Yeah.
Laz Diaz has ejected you twice.
Yeah.
In the past.
I'm surprised that's it, to be honest. Because I could get pretty heated. In the time that I really got heated, Laz kind of called me out. And I was like, oh boy. Tony Pena knew I was in trouble that day, and I wasn't going to last very long.
All right, let me reel off one of the dates and for one of the reasons, and I want to see if you remember what you did with that ejection. May 5th, 2014 at the Big A in Anaheim, arguing balls and strikes.
3-0. They called the strike on Gardy. We were having a hard time scoring runs, and I think we had the bases loaded, and I don't think we ended up scoring that inning, but I got thrown out when he called it 3-0. That was the end of my night.
And what'd you do with your hat?
Oh, I'm sure I tossed it, kicked it. I was disrespectful to my hat. Do you think that's another hit?
I mean, if the others weren't, this
right?
one has to be a hit.
Nice play by Lipscomb, and wasn't able to come up and pick it.
So over at third is DeYoung. Schumann's at first. Get another look at George Lombard Jr., who had a great bare hand grab at third base to throw out Joey Wiemer back in the 5th inning, in the top of the 5th rather. And he smacks it in the air pretty deep left field. Franklin looking up. It's over his head and off the base of the wall. Scoring is DeYoung. And going around third, coming in to score is Schumann. It's a 2-run double for George Lombard Jr.
The Yankees have done such a great job of taking advantage of every Washington National miscue tonight. He jumps all over this fastball that's up in the zone. Short hops the wall. Good base running. Scores from first. You see Schumann score from first. Here you're going to see this ball just short hop the wall a little bit there. And not a very good relay throw here. And here's Schumann running real hard there, but now he knows he's got a chance to score, and he takes off.
Scores from first on a fly ball, clocked in at 108.8 miles off the bat.
Is that good?
That'll play.
That'll play at any level.
So 7-0 Yankees after the 2-run double by Lombard Jr. Here's Jonathan Ornelas.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the night that Lombard's had. He's walked, he's doubled, drove in a couple runs. He's made an outstanding play at third base from a man that's only 20 years old.
This one chopped to third. Lipscomb takes care of it, and the side retired. Yankees get 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th. They have a 7-0 lead. There it is. Aaron showing Laz Diaz how it's done in Chicago.
gonna help you up.
New York City's my heart, my soul. I would never do this place dirty.
You don't want to see the place you live dirty.
Everywhere you look, there's a garbage pail.
There's no need to trash the city.
You're doing the city dirty by not doing right by it.
So don't do it.
Don't do New York City dirty. Trash your trash.
Back at Steinbrenner Field, it's the top of the 6th inning, 7-0 Yanks, and Fernando Cruz on the mound, already ahead 0-1 on Abimelec Ortiz.
You know what that is?
A really good pitch.
That pitch. There's that pitch again. 60% of the time he's going to throw that split. Guys are going to swing at it, miss at it 57% of the time. So you know it's coming, and they still don't hit it.
Quickly ahead 0-2 on Ortiz, the Nationals' first baseman.
See, I liked what he did there. He held the ball until like there were 2 seconds. Nobody in the game of baseball likes to just be stationary. You know, it's just uncomfortable when you're standing and waiting and waiting and waiting. We talked about doing it to base runners, make them sit there over there a long time. And that's what he did to the hitter, made him wait a long time.
Here's another split. Cruz is going to be counted on to be a big part of the Yankee bullpen. Two. Right on the outside corner, the four-seamer called strike 3. So, Joe, between innings, Laz Diaz, he made nice with some of the fans.
And people are really going to appreciate that. And maybe Laz had, look, he has another one in his pocket. Maybe give it to his brother, and he's talking to him and joking around. But it's easier to hand it that way than trying to throw it to a kid over a tall fence and making sure they get it, because a lot of times there's a scramble for it.
Here's Christian Franklin.
He went from villain to hero in a short period of time. Oh, he took his glove, maybe to protect himself.
There it is. Yeah, the fence is too high.
I like the way that he gets back up on the mound. Right after he throws it, there's a couple quick steps backwards. Like, he can't wait to throw another one.
Franklin sends it foul. So last year, Cruz had 2 stints on the injured list. He went down in mid to late May with right shoulder inflammation, and then in late June with a left oblique strain. But before the shoulder injury, he had a sub-3 ERA over 21 games, and then a 4.44 mark the rest of the season, as he gets Franklin to swing over the splitter for strike 3, 2 away.
Yeah, that oblique injury is a tough injury too. Both the injuries he had, I thought, were really tough injuries for a pitcher to have. And we see the split that he throws, the bottom just falls out all the time. And when he can throw it for a strike early in the count, he can expand later. But that was even a strike. And again, you know that it's coming, but he's a big key to this bullpen. He needs to stay healthy for this bullpen to have success.
You could recall certain game situations last year when he was out. The Yankees maybe needed some big pitches and some big outs, and they just couldn't find them from the replacements in the bullpen.
Well, the Yankees are going to play in some close games, especially when they're in their division, and you need a deep bullpen. And it was always deeper when he was healthy and pitching the way he was. And it was unfortunate that he went through those 2 injuries, but they're going to need him to stay healthy for 162 games this year.
Tries to get the fastball past Barrera.
If I was a betting man, I'd bet on a split after that. He got his 1 fastball.
Here's the 1-2. He got him. The splitter for strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts for Fernando Cruz here in the top of the 6th. Welcome back to Yankee Spring Training, presented by your local Ford stores. From the Bronx to the backcountry, the Ford Bronco lives up to its legendary name. That's why it's the official SUV of the Yankees. Right-hander Jackson Rutledge on the mound for the Nationals, and Kennedy Corona, Yankee center fielder tonight, at the plate for his third appearance with the bat. 2 walks and a run scored. Yankees have looked sharp. They've taken advantage of some mishaps defensively from the Nationals. They also are able to pick up 3 innings and change of terrific pitching from Ryan Weathers in his Yankee debut, as Corona skies it into left field. Out there is Brown to make the catch. 1 away.
Yeah, Jackson Rutledge pitched in a number of games for the Washington Nationals. 63 last year. A high earned run average of 5.77. Their bullpen really struggled last year. They were last in baseball. There's a lot of open spots in their bullpen this year. Probably about 7 of them. Clayton Beater, I think he's got 1, and then there's 7 more.
Here's Miguel Palma. He replaces Ahmed Rosario in the leadoff spot. So you have wholesale changes for both teams after the top of the 6th inning. Rosario homered in his start. The Yankees were able to get a lot of their hitters who have various levels of success against lefties. A lot of run tonight. And it's capped foul.
They want Rutledge to use his slider and split more than he has in the past, because both of those pitches have been pretty successful for him. Hitters hit 194 on his slider, and on his split they hit 267 without a lot of damage. A lot of swings and misses on his slider, almost 40%. So they think if they change how much he uses the slider and how much he uses the split, he will improve and his numbers will get better.
One-two outside.
And there's that good slider that I'm talking about. You see how much depth it has. Especially from a pitcher that's 6'8".
Swings and misses through the heater. And they're 2 away. So Rutledge retires the first 2 he sees.
Yeah, you're going to see a good fastball here just right on the outside corner. And after that good breaking ball, it gets on you quicker.
Alongside Joe Girardi and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Justin Shackle. Yankees are ahead 7-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. And the first pitch is skied in the air to left. Brown under it, makes the catch, and a 1-2-3 inning for Jackson Rutledge.
Hi, everybody, welcome to Yankees baseball.
Another It's 7-0 Yankees at the start of the 7th inning, and the interview of the day is brought to you by your local Ford stores as Meredith Marakovitz catches up with tonight's starting pitcher for the Yankees, Ryan Weathers.
Ryan, new year, new team. How amped up were you just to put on the pinstripes and get out there and compete tonight?
Yeah, it was cool. I thought we were wearing our spring training jersey, and I come in and the pinstripes were hanging up. So it was a lot of fun tonight.
You went out there, you struck out 5, you were in the zone the majority of the night. Just overall, how do you evaluate yourself tonight?
Yeah, I think like one of the biggest things for me over the last couple of years, being able to land my breaking ball, there was a couple counts tonight where I actually felt comfortable like 1-0-2-1 of like landing that pitch, which is something that haven't really been good at in the past. So I think the end zone rate of both of the breaking pitches was really good tonight.
Aaron Boone said when you were originally traded here in Matt Blake, we feel like there is a lot in there. He is going to be a big part of the rotation. What have the conversations been like between you and Matt Blake, and has he identified anything that you think is going to help you this season?
Sure. I think tonight, we've been working on establishing the sinker to lefties. I think tonight that really helped me split the plate in half, and really just execution. I think when I get really hit is when I'm not executing. Pitchers are getting behind the count. So I think Matty's really helped me simplify of just getting ahead, stay ahead, and get out of the zone.
There are a lot of veteran pitchers on this staff, and there are a lot of former Yankees that are around here, like guys like Andy Pettitte. How much do you welcome the idea of kind of picking some of their brains a little bit to see if that could help you at all throughout the course of the season?
For sure. Andy, he ran my live BP of my last one before this outing, and he really helped me with my breaking ball. I have a tendency to want to muscle it up and try to, make it look pretty instead of just throwing it for a strike. He really helped me mentally just kind of simplify and just literally just spin your breaking ball in the zone. So
now, rumor has it your dad was in the house tonight. What does he think about all of this? What do you think he thought about you for the first time in pinstripes?
He's obviously excited. This is a world-class organization, one that he played in and won here. So it's just been awesome just to share that with him. Obviously he has taught me, the bulk of what I'm doing, so it's just fun to be able to work on some of that stuff with him and be able to execute it.
A lot of time between now and opening day, a lot of building up to do, but what do you hope to accomplish next time out? How do you build up?
Just keep throwing strike one. It was really nice to get into the 4th inning tonight. I was originally scheduled for 3, and it was nice to get into the 4th with a low pitch count, which means I was in the zone a lot, so just continue to pound the zone and get outs.
Ryan, appreciate the time.
Yep, thank you.
Send it back to you.
That's scary how much he sounds like his father. Oh, I could just hear his father right there.
So a good Yankees debut for Ryan Weathers. He exceeded the pitching expectations, like you heard him there at the very end. Went 4, was only supposed to go about 3 and change.
I know it's spring training, but the Yankees have to be thrilled what they've seen from their starting so far in spring training.
Tim Hill with a 1-2-3 top of the 7th inning. So the lefty getting 3 quick outs gets him in order. Yankees have a 7-0 lead as we've reached the 7th inning stretch. We'll keep it right here at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa for the playing of God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the New York Yankees are recognizing all of the brave men and women of our armed forces. So please direct your attention to the Yankees first base dugout and welcome Petty Officer 3rd Class Richie McAdoo of the United States Navy. Petty Officer McAdoo, there he is. Served our nation from 1989 to 1995 as a sonar technician with multiple deployments on 3 different submarines, the USS Benjamin Franklin, the USS Pittsburgh, and the USS Dallas. He is our military honoree of the game. How about a hand for him? And we say thank you to him and all of our brave men and women for their service and sacrifices for our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to rise and remove your caps for the playing of God Bless America. And fans, it's time for the second.
Back here at Steinbrenner Field, Yankees are in front 7-0 over the Nationals as we play along here in the bottom of inning number 7. And the new pitcher's righty P.J. Poulin as he deals to the shortstop Zach Short. Entered the game for Paul DeYoung. He's hitting third where Ben Rice started the game.
Got into 28 games for Washington last year, 24 2/3 innings, a lot of walks, 13. Probably one of the reasons their bullpen struggled so much was all the walks, and then they traded away their 2 best relievers. And again, there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of these young pitchers. 3.65 ERA, that's pretty good. UConn guy. UConn has a really good baseball program.
Yes.
You know, all we talk about is basketball when you think about UConn, but they got some kind of baseball program too.
None bigger than George Springer. And a New Britain. And a liner to third, caught there by Morales. So 1 down. And let's hear from Meredith Marakovitz as she did catch up with tonight's starting left fielder Jason Dominguez earlier this spring.
Jason, you just got out of the cage. What do you look to accomplish in those sessions pregame?
You know, the feel for my swing, trying to work on my swing and adjust the thing that I had to adjust and just get me right.
Hey, you mentioned adjustments. Your swing from the right side was topic of conversation last year. Did you make any adjustments from the right side, in particular this offseason, that may help you find some more consistency?
Oh, yeah, I've been working on my timing, trying to get ready sooner, so give myself time to hit the ball better.
How do you feel overall so far this spring? It's still early.
So far, it's still early, but I feel pretty good.
Hey, you look at the fact that the Yankees brought back Bellinger and Grisham's, perhaps some uncertainty as far as your role this season. You said earlier this spring that you're not worried about that. You're just trying to control what you can control. How do you block that out, that thought?
I mean, we have pretty good media training here, and also the people that are around me help me a lot to just block that out. And right now, I just focus and go day by day, trying to win one day at a time.
Last season, you had said that Ahmed Rosario really helped you kind of transition to that role off the bench. It's not lost on me that he's right next to you in the clubhouse. How much do you lean on him for advice?
I mean, Ahmed, that guy, he survived. I mean, having him in the clubhouse, even just to hang around, and obviously if I got some question or whatever, he's an awesome guy and he's always willing to help.
Now, speaking of the clubhouse, you have a huge chain hanging at your locker. It's the Martian and an avocado. The Martian, I get. I know Players Weekend last year, you had a little avocado on your bat as well. What's the deal with the avocado?
I don't know, man. Since I was really young, I started to posting things about avocados because I like them so much. And one fan brought me that chain the other day. It's awesome. It's really cool.
Hey, you're always smiling. How do you keep upbeat? How do you keep, the energy going?
Like I tell you, come here to work every day is a blessing, and every day with a group of guys that we have is a vibe, so there's no reason to not smile.
Jason, great to see you. Good luck this spring.
Thank you.
Send it back to you guys.
I'm going to write that as 4-6, but I mean, there's another not a difficult play. I mean, this is a play that needs to be made by the second baseman or right. You see the lack of communication there where you can't hear, and Martinez stops for a second, and then he starts to go out after the ball. He overruns it, and it's tough on a base runner when you're doing this, but you can stay a little bit further off because you know the guy's trying to catch you has to turn to throw, and it might have been the difference.
It's just going to look like a 4-6 force out tomorrow morning.
Well, that's what I wrote, 4-6 fielder's choice, but that's a weird fielder's choice right there. But talking about Dominguez, he just loves to play. That's what I get when I listen to him, that he loves to play, and he's just going to do the best he can do, and where the chips fall, they fall. But that's going to serve him well, because whether he's in the big leagues playing, he's going to be happy when he's playing. Whether he's down in AAA, he's going to do everything he can to get back. And I don't think he's a guy that's going to go down and pout. Like, I made that mistake when I got sent down after being in the big leagues, pouting for a couple of weeks, and it was a mistake. I don't think you'll see that from this young man. I think he's going to do what he's asked to do, and he's going to go and try to take somebody's job.
Everything that we have seen thus far from Jason Dominguez would lead you to believe just that.
Yeah, it's just his attitude is fantastic.
Here's Caden Kent, and he is the son of now Hall of Famer Jeff Kent. Yankees drafted Caden in the 3rd round out of Texas A&M last June. Went to High A Hudson Valley. Logged just over 100 at-bats in his first summer of pro ball. And he has experience across the infield.
Jeff Kent could drive in some runs. I mean, he was a guy that just had a really simple swing and knew how to hit behind Barry Bonds. Probably drove him in hundreds and hundreds of times.
Caden's 22 years of age. He bounces it hard to short. There's the force out at second base. Kent grounds out. Yankees are done in the 7th. We go to the 8th.
Providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods, putting help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
Support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. Eighth inning we go in Tampa. Yankees in front of the Nationals 7-0. Another pitcher on the mound. It's lefty Kyle Carr, 23 years of age. Number 13 prospect in the Yanks organization. Put together a 2.64 ERA and 130-plus innings. Last season, soft liner right to second, right to the glove of Bryce Martin Grudzielanek. Let's go back downstairs where Meredith is with JC Escara.
JC, you had as good a view as anyone watching Ryan Weathers work this evening. What stood out to you about his stuff?
Wow, incredible. First outing for him this year with us in spring training. Glad that I was able to, work with him, and he was great tonight. I think, he showed, why he could be one of the top pitchers in the league. Nasty stuff from his fastball upper 90s to, his changeup and his slider down. He was great tonight, and he was in the zone, which was, where we need him to be, and, he showed what he could do.
What's the biggest part in getting to know a new pitcher on the staff and working with him?
I think is more of, obviously the physical part of knowing his pitches, how they move and stuff, but I think more the mental part, how to work with him, when things are going well, how to push him to be the best he could be.
One thing we have noticed so far this spring, you guys are being very aggressive when it comes to the ABS system. How much do you like that the ABS system is not only implemented here in spring, but during the regular season this year?
I love it. I think, the game's changing, and, we got to evolve with it. There's certain instances in the game that, should have gone our way, but now, we have the challenge to make it go our way. So at the end of the day, we just got to get, used to and get good at, using it.
When you challenge it and you get it right for your pitcher and for your team, what type of satisfaction is that for you behind the plate?
Oh, man, it feels great. It feels great because it literally changes the count. You could be down in the count and go up in the count. So it literally changes the game, changes the at-bats, and, we're going to use it to our advantage.
Hey, that was your first time out there this spring. Aaron Boone had mentioned that you kind of tweaked your knee a little bit playing winter ball. You said it was no big deal. They were just slow playing. How do you feel physically?
Amazing. Caught 5 innings today, got 3 at-bats, felt 100%. So, I'm glad that I'm healthy to the fullest and able to, have a strong camp and, help my team.
What are your expectations for this season, JC?
I think same as every year, do my best. Obviously, come ready every single year, make the team and help the team win a World Series.
JC, appreciate the time.
Thank you so much.
Send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Meredith. And, Joe, the Yankees have one of the more interesting decisions ahead of opening day. They did it last year, and the question is, hey, do you carry 3 catchers on the active roster again when they're all lefty?
Well, I think Rice is mostly going to be at first base this year, right? And that could change. We haven't seen him behind the plate, but this is only his 2nd game. So, yeah, they do have some decisions to make about that. What kind of roster they're going to have could depend on some of the starters they're facing getting out of the gate, because you can always change later on if you want.
Skied in the air to right center. Good track by Cam Troyer in right center field. He puts it away. Nationals are done. Middle of the 8th in Tampa.
Places.
7-0 Yankees in the bottom of the 8th. It was a good night for George Lombard Jr. Got the start at third base. Had a 2-run double. Made a nice play at the hot corner as well. And George is downstairs with Meredith.
George, this is your second big league spring training. How different does this one feel? Do you feel a bit more comfortable?
For sure. I mean, having been there, done that at least one time, been around the guys, gotten to know everybody, especially like the staff and all the guys that have been here for a while, it's a huge help. It's definitely a lot more comfortable second time around.
How much growth do you think there has been in your game since this time last year?
A lot. Especially just on the mental side, understanding myself as a player, as a person, knowing my game a little bit better, knowing my tendencies. It just allows me to, refine my game just a little bit more.
Well, your game was defense tonight in the 5th inning. Unbelievable one-handed grab. Got the runner at first base. You don't play a ton of third base. How are you able to make that play?
I always say I take pride in being a baseball player, not just a shortstop. I feel like I can go out there and play all over the place. So, yeah, I saw it. I knew I had to be quick. He gets down the line good, and just figured out a way to make a play.
Last year, you were promoted to Double-A. When you got up there, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make?
I would say all around. Just the game gets a little bit quicker. Game gets a little cleaner. Guys are a little bit older. Guys have been playing a little longer. They're just little adjustments all over the field, defensively, offensively, preparation, and just getting better as a baseball player.
What is the biggest thing you've been working on to try to get yourself to the next level?
I think just more what I mentioned earlier, focusing on myself as an overall baseball player. I don't think it's one specific thing, but just trying to improve on all of it every single day. Just get a little bit better every single day. Off the field, work on my mental game, my preparation, my recovery, everything that goes into being elite, being at that level. So just a little bit of everything.
Any veterans that you look up to when you're here that you kind of talk to and try to see what they do to prepare, what they do to have success at the big league level?
A lot. I'm very fortunate to have a lot of leaders in that clubhouse. Guys have been doing it for a long time that are, veterans of the game, well established. So guys like Cap, Judge, Big G, Volpe, McMahon, and pretty much everybody on the big league team has been great with me. They always, whenever I have a question for them, they always have great answers for me. They're always supportive. They're always there for me. So it's been great with all of them.
Now, Detroit was in the first home game here at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Your dad, of course, a part of that staff. You had a hit in that one late. What's the conversation like after the game when you succeed against your dad's team?
It's fun. There's always a little bit of, playful trash talk.
Yeah.
But it's always fun getting out there against them, getting to see each other a little bit after the game, and that'll always be cool.
George, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Justin, we're going to send it back to you.
Thank you so much, Meredith. Joe, you talk to people in Yankees player development, and they talk about the maturity of George Lombard Jr. And a lot of that is his, the father rubbing off on him, but they also attribute a lot of that to his mother.
A very good softball player in her own right, Corey.
There's George Lombard Sr. and Jr., the Tigers bench coach.
That's neat, right? They look identical, don't they? A little age on the father, a little bit, not a ton.
Cam Troyer takes a look at strike 3 as Paxton Schultz retires the side. We go to the 9th. Yes is brought to you in part by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Help America's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. By the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Deals so right it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. And by Citizens. Made ready. The Yankees are up 7-0 as we go to the ninth. Second straight inning of work for young lefty Kyle Carr after he retired the Nationals in order. So we saw a lot of pitchers who will be on the opening day roster for the Yankees tonight. Ryan Weathers looked terrific in his Yankee debut. Also saw David Bednar, Fernando Cruz, and Tim Hill.
Hey, Tim Hill made quick work of it, didn't he? But he always does. He's a contact pitcher that throws a lot of strikes. Really quick work of it. The Yankees have to be extremely pleased with the pitching tonight again.
There's Elvis Martinez for the Nationals. Washington's second baseman. Carr has pitched really well for the Yankees. Was named the South Atlantic League's Pitcher of the Year after going 8-6 with a 1.96 ERA for Hudson Valley. This is rolled to first. Ernesto Martinez Jr. takes it. Hey, tomorrow night on Yes, watch the Brooklyn Nets take on Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock with the FanDuel Nets pregame. Then tip-off is set for 7:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yankee pitchers have faced the minimum 25 batters tonight. The only hit was a single by Christian Franklin in the third. Oh, I don't have that type of power, Joe.
Okay, just making sure. That was, what, about a foot from being a jinx?
Also a foot from Garrett Martin making an incredible catch.
Yes. You gotta see this ball. This is tough because you run out of room and then you have to slide on that hard dirt down there. Ballparks have so many tricky quirks to them that you have to get used to them all.
This is Sam Brown, the Nationals left fielder.
He's trying to fly out the left, isn't he?
Finds the seats. Kyle Carr grew up in the San Diego area in La Jolla and went to nearby Palomar College. Yanks drafted him in 2023 in the third round.
Sally pitcher of the year, 119 innings, gave up only 81 hits. That's dominant. Got roughed up a little bit when he went to Double-A, but that's to be expected. It's the next step, and you would think that's where he would start this year. Justin, these guys are starting to look so young to me. I don't know what that says about me.
Check swing.
You know, I was impressed by George Lombard Jr.'s comment about he's understanding who he is as a player more and more as he plays. And I think one of the toughest things for players to do is to be good and honest self-evaluators of who they are. And it sounds like he has a pretty good idea of what he's doing on a constant basis.
Now, how rare is that for a player to figure that out at 20 years of age?
Really young. And I think it's because he grew up in it and he has a complete understanding. You know, part of the thing about being a father that has a son who plays baseball is a lot of times they don't want to hear about instructions. But I would try to teach my son about how to handle and think about the game more than instructions. I left the instructions to other people just because I thought it was better coming from somebody else. And it seems like he's got a really good head on his shoulders. Plus, he's extremely talented.
So the Yankees 1 out away from closing this one out. Trace Barrera, who was the starting DH. He remains in there as the number 9 hitter. Kyle Carr's retired the first 5 he's faced. The Nationals were the only team left in Grapefruit League play with an undefeated record. That's going to evaporate in short order.
You would think.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened, but
I feel pretty good about your prediction.
Yeah.
Well, they're 1 strike away.
Yankees will be back at it tomorrow against the Braves.
You know, I talked about you not being able to do a day game after a night game. Sweeney Murdy texted me, said you never did day games after night games this early to players in spring training. But you're not a player.
No, but I'm older than the Nationals manager. That has to count for something at this point.
No, I'm
You talk about surrealism.
Well, there we go.
There it is, strike 3. And the game is over as Kyle Carr retires 6 in a row to close out a terrific night of pitching for the New York Yankees. They face the minimum here at Steinbrenner Field and pick up a 7-0 victory over the Nationals. We'll take a break. We'll come back to wrap it up in Tampa.
New Nissan.
Local Ford stores. Legacies are proven on the field. Start yours in the legendary Ford Bronco, the official SUV of the Yankees. All right, Joe, time for Love That Play. Brought to you by Love That Chicken from Popeyes.
Well, I love what I saw from Ryan Weathers tonight. He attacked the zone all night long, 3 2/3. Gave up 1 hit. He had 5 strikeouts. You see the slider there. You're going to see another slider that ties up Weimer. You're going to see this fastball. He hit 100 tonight. That's another good slider to get a left-hander out, and that's a split change that sometimes will cut a little bit. His stuff was really effective, and he used it all.
Well, for the Nationals, 0 runs, 1 hit, 3 errors. For the Yankees, 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The winning pitcher, Ryan Weathers. Andrew Alvarez takes the loss. The Yankees face the minimum, 27 batters. Top of the ballgame, 2 hours and 8 minutes. That'll do it from George M. Steinbrenner Field. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and And our executive producer is Jared Ames Boschnak. Join us again tomorrow when the Yankees host the Braves. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock right here on Yes. Once again, the final score from Tampa. The Yankees 7, the Nationals nothing. For Joe Girardi and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Justin Shackle. Have a great one, everybody. So long.